Straight people really are the weakest link. Straight people really are the weakest link. And the gag is, I'm not even talking about Ryan Coogler. I'm talking about you niggas. Side note, this is not a mixed company conversation. I don't need any white queer people in the comments saying anything about what they think or their two-piece. This is for black people. Y'all niggas are the weakest link. You've always been the weakest link. And I'm talking about straight men and straight women. As people are online fighting about whether or not Ryan Coogler should have added more queer elements into Sinners, which I don't think would have been a bad idea, adding a vulgar and then the list of dancers, right? The thing that everyone is missing is that Ryan Coogler is one black director in a sea of whiteness, and we put this pressure on anybody who has made it to be the representation for everyone in the community. And that's not possible. I don't even know if I trust a straight man to tell a queer story, right? The homophobia is with you all who don't support queer black art anyway. So we only can have one, and it only has so much room to tell the story in the constraints of a predominantly white system that tells him that he has to tell his story a certain kind of way. Because we all love the story about him, retaining the rights to his own story and the constraints of the budget, not understanding that he's fighting an uphill battle, right? But this isn't about me defending Ryan Coogler. I think there should be more queer black art. I think that Ryan Coogler and his team are just very, very straight anyway. This is what I'm getting at. You straight black people, and again, this is black men and black women, need to get it together, because we know that straight black men can just be disgustingly homophobic, and that homophobia is violence. But guess what, straight black women? You enable that too.
Well, the LGBTQ community is split on this Ryan Coogler situation. Now, we know Ryan Coogler, the brother from LA, man, 39 years old, man. He's a film producer. He's well known for films like Fruitvale Station, Creed, the Black Messiah, Sinners, man, just so many different movies, man. Wakanda, the Black Panther. He's known for putting these movies out, right? And we know we all like to go in and watch a Ryan Coogler movie. One thing I like about Ryan Coogler, man, he's from LA. When he speaks, he doesn't code switch. When he talks, you can tell that he's a dude from the turf, right? He comes out, he speaks that way, and I love that about the brother, right? We just witnessed him win an Oscar. Right, he was on stage celebrating winning for Sinners, but now the LGBT community is coming out after him, right? And they're saying that in those dancing scenes, he didn't have enough representation of LGBTQ, right? And they're talking about the disenfranchisement of LGBT in the black community, specifically with black men, and they're upset. But now they're split on this topic because there's people in the LGBT community that's not having it. And they're saying, no, y'all not doing that, right? If y'all want LGBT stuff, then you go and do it. And they're speaking out and they're coming online, they're saying this.
I'm gay, and I genuinely enjoy seeing gay representation in the media, especially when it comes to black gays and black queer and black LGBT element of all that. I genuinely love it. But what we absolutely are not about to do is do this with the Ryan Coogler on this day, 2 days after he made history as only the second black man to win Best Original. We just not about to do this. Ryan Coogler to me is one of the greatest directors and filmmakers and writers, whatever you want to call it, that this world has ever seen and the world is going to ever see, right? And I genuinely mean that. Like, the only two movies that I went in theaters to see multiple, I'm talking about 2, 3, 4 times in theaters, has been movies directed and written by Ryan Coogler, Black Panther and Sinner. So he's the creme de la creme in my book. As a matter of fact, I'm still beating myself up over the fact that on Saturday, I had got invited to a symposium with Ryan Coogler. I'm talking about Ryan Coogler would have literally been feet in front of me. Like, to be little old me to be in the same room as that still beating myself over, even though it was out of my control that I had to miss that. Oh, damn it. But anyways, so over on X Twitter, there is first off, I seen this tweet and it was like, oh, how they love Ryan Coogler, but they would like to know his stance on LGBT issues, which I feel like that's fair. Before you support someone, before you want to support a person, a company, whatever, if you want to know their politics on whatever, I feel like that's genuinely a fair question to ask. That's cool. But then I started kind of seeing tweets or X, whatever you want to call it, where people are like basically like demanding and saying that, oh, he needs to make like LGBT aimed content. Now, first of all, how you gonna tell this man what he needs to make? Like, I don't think that's how that works. Now, I personally would definitely enjoy, because he's just that good at what he does. I'm sure it will be great, but only if it's genuine, only if that's something that he wants to do. Why the hell would I want to, like, the thought process of some of y'all, baby, I will never, ever, ever understand. Because in what world does that make any sense that you're gonna try to force somebody to make anything for your liking? Like,
So I've been seeing this discourse about Ryan Coogler representing queerness and what are his views on queerness. To be honest, I don't really care. I do agree it was a missed opportunity not to add ballroom into the dance sequence in Sinners. As far as, oh, where does Ryan Coogler stand on LGBTQ issues? Nothing about him gives homophobes, so I don't think we need to worry about that. But I do think this opens up a bigger discussion about how black queerness is represented. Because if we're being honest, mainstream audiences don't want to see queerness represented unless it's white people. Oh my god, you guys make everything about race. I swear we're not doing it. It just happens to be that way. I'm sorry, bro. You can be mad somewhere else. Go through some of the examples. Brokeback Mountain, Call Me By Your Name, blew up Timothée Chalamet's career. Boys from Heated Rivalry are about to get a bunch of jobs off that show. Saltburn, two white guys. Now, in those examples, why aren't the boys from Moonlight just as big? Why is it something like Noah's Ark on the same level as Will and Grace? Why aren't any of the actors or actresses from Pose doing any big movies or TV shows right now? Because the mainstream likes their gay to look a certain way. And the mainstream is also obsessed with DL love stories, but that's a whole nother can of worms.
So again, this topic is split down the middle. Because like, for me, I feel like there's some forces behind the scenes that whenever there's a black man winning something, or anybody black, a black woman, like anybody black that's pushing the line, that's winning something, especially foundational black Americans, they always trying to push the goalpost back, or they'll send like a smoking gun in there to try to ruin the reputation of somebody. So now they come with this LGBT stuff saying, you know what I mean? My whole thing is he's doing a movie, it's a vampire movie. It has absolutely nothing to do with anything LGBT. And you wouldn't know if they was LGBTQ or not. They was just sitting there dancing. We don't know. It was just human beings, people, dancing. So that's them trying to stir something up, trying to get him canceled, get him in trouble. But I believe that's coming from the powerful people up top, upstairs, right? And they're using sellouts amongst our community to come and do it. Now, the brother Jew Almighty, make sure y'all subscribe to his channel. I mean, he has a channel almost 100K subscribers. He did a video on this, man, and he was reading some of the comments online that people were saying, man. And the brother, he was also upset about this, and he said this.
That tweet and the discourse around it really led to the next one, which I think was a lot more divisive. I would like to know Ryan Coogler's politics around queerness, though. He is a film director, just like any other film director, and he speaks through his art, through his medium. I've never heard this question or demand directed at Martin Scorsese or Steven Spielberg. They never asked Quentin Tarantino, Martin Scorsese, Francis Ford Coppola, Taylor Sheridan, or Steven Spielberg what their personal politics are and thoughts on gayness. But when it comes to a successful black man from Richmond telling his stories, now this is needed. That is my point exactly. He's telling his stories from his life experience, the things he's been inspired by. The twins Smoke and Stack, I believe, were connected to his uncles or his aunts. It's just really weird that all of a sudden this is a problem that Ryan Coogler has to address, or it's taking Sinners down a peg because it didn't have this specific representation, when that wasn't the story it was telling. And then people start going even deeper with it. Absence of queers and sinners is simply the average black heterosexual imagination of black history. I don't know how that statement even applies to anything. Sinners didn't say gay people or queerness didn't exist. It told a very streamlined story about I can't believe I'm even having to explain this. It told a very streamlined story about two brothers coming back to their hometown in the South from Chicago and trying to build something of their own in a racist Jim Crow time period. Not to mention, it's a fucking vampire movie. Can we relax? Despite that, black, trans, and queer are all up and through Reconstruction and post-Reconstruction history onward. The first trans woman to testify before Congress was a former slave. It's like he's making a completely separate argument, because who argued that any of that wasn't real or wasn't happening? It just wasn't a specific story being told. My brother in Christ, Sinners was not a historic reenactment of black history. It was a vampire movie. Facts. Y'all just need to be honest and say you're looking for a reason to tear down Ryan Coogler because he is a successful black man.
And again, I really believe that this pattern is not coming from black people per se, like directly. It's coming from up top. It's coming from people. It's coming from people, you know, that behind the scenes that want to cause trouble, because they already know that we got too many sellouts amongst our rank, and all you got to do is offer somebody something, and they'll get something started. They'll use social media to try to destroy your credibility. Why is this even coming up? I mean, the man is doing great movies. Fruitvale Station was a good movie, right? Right? Black Panther was a great movie. The Creeds was a good movie. Why are we even having this conversation? Why is your sexuality even part of the conversation? If you're, I'm sure he's hired people that's a part of that community, behind the scenes, in the cameras, whatever. Yeah, I mean, that's not, listen, whether I'm straight, that other community, that's nobody else's business. We shouldn't really be leading with that anyway. That's nobody's business. We just come to work. But they're trying to ruin his credibility by doing this, man. And there's a lot of people that's upset about this. There's a lot of people that's calling this stuff out.
Ryan Coogler don't have to do nothing but stay black and die. If you want queer representation, take out a pen and paper and write it. The only people capable of accurately writing from the perspective of a queer person is a queer person, just like the only person capable of writing from the perspective of a black woman is a black woman. Sure, you can attempt, but it'll always fall short. If Ryan Coogler had thrown in voguing, you guys would have been pissed off that he only chose the effeminate form of queer life to show in that scene. Ryan Coogler wrote what he knew. We all write what we know. I would never try to write a novel from a fantasy standpoint because I know nothing about fantasy. I know nothing about dragons. I know nothing about science fiction unless it's horror, sci-fi, and I would never attempt to write that. Because no matter how hard I try, no matter how much research I put into it, I'm still going to miss the nuances and I will seem disingenuous. I think you're mad at Ryan Coogler because he's more successful than you expected somebody from my hometown to ever become.
I just want here tonight to say that Ryan Coogler is giving me all the things, all the feels. And not for the reason why y'all might think. Y'all might think, oh, he won for Sinners. Sinners was a great movie, so on and so forth. No. It ain't it. It ain't Sinners. It ain't Black Panther. It ain't Creed. It ain't Fruitvale Station. It is when I close my eyes and I hear his voice and I see the faces of every black man I ever grew up with in California. Ryan Coogler could be like a goddamn a teacher of black vernacular in California. Like literally I can't even explain. I'm not a linguist, but like there is a certain twang about California black men that if you know, you know. If you know, you know. And he got it. And more importantly than him having it, because he's from California, he should have it. But he don't hide it, though. Ooh, Jesus. He don't hide it. And so many black professionals hide it. So many black folks speak a certain way in public and code switch when they with their peoples at the cookout on the weekends when they go home. So many black folks who are professionals with the JD and the MD and the MBA and the DDS, PhD. So I gotta say like almost all. They know how to go out into the world 8 to 5 and speak in a way that white folks, let's keep it 100, they speak in a way where white folks feel comfortable. They speak in a way where white folks won't question their qualifications. They won't question their abilities. They won't question their professionalism. They won't question their ability. You know what I'm saying? It is done to preempt criticism that they're not good enough. And Ryan Coogler is clearly good enough. Your boy, by every metric, he's extraordinary. He went to USC Film School, got a master's degree. He got a BAFTA, got a Grammy, got Oscar, got a Golden Globe. What? Breaking all y'all box office records. What?
Say this. I get that being part of the LGBT community, you want representation. And you want representation on the big stage just like everybody else. I get that. But to put that just on him as he's supposed to be the vanguard for you guys, I think that that's wrong. And he's not even a part of that community. Right? I think it's wrong. And I also think that it's disrespectful. Right? You know, Sinners was a movie, but it wasn't about all walks of life and all walks of black life. It was a specific movie made for a specific time that went into like a vampire movie. And he was just telling his story. It didn't have all that stuff that y'all looking for to be added into the movie and to put this stuff, lay this stuff at his feet. That's very unfair, man. And it's disrespectful. Like y'all projected, man, that he's against. So now what it will morph into, oh, Ryan Coogler's against the LGBT community. Ryan Coogler's this. Why? Like, why do we got to go there? Why we just can't celebrate this black man winning an Oscar? Right? Why y'all just can't do that? Because you guys, a lot of you guys out there are sellouts. And when things come from up top to try to ruin a person, y'all sign right up for it. Y'all sign on for it. And this goes to show you the hate that a lot of people have for black men. That's what this is. This is it's disgusting. It's disrespectful. But, man, listen, shout out to Ryan Coogler, man. And shout out to the LGBTQ community, black people from the LGBTQ community that's in support of Ryan Coogler, that's not with this stuff. Shout out to our cousins and uncles and aunts and parents and people that are black that's from the gay community that see through this stuff, and they're not supporting this. Shout out to them. Shout out to y'all, man, for not falling for this foolishness, man. But if you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV, leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.